but it's always the same. Playing with the boy. Playing with young boys. Aperitifs and sunsets, just a little ploy. Playing with the boys. We're back. We're doing it. The NFL is back like crack. Crack is back. Cigs are back. The NFL is back. Sports Mask, episode 125. What the hell? September 5th, the year of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Hieronymus Christ, 2025. And it's here, folks. Wait no longer. We went through the sports desert of March and April. We weathered the post-All-Star game, post-NBA, post-NHL, mini summer desert, and we are all the way back. NFL week one game already in the books that went the way as expected, of course. And yes. And look how far we've come. What is this? Is this the fourth or fifth season we've been doing this show? I don't even know. But our loyal, longtime viewers, you'll remember back in the early days, the first couple years, I only did this show during the NFL season. And I've been such a generous and kind God to the last couple of years, do it all year round, missing a couple of weeks. And here we are. We did it. You made it. You survived another year. If you're watching this, you made it to another NFL season. September and October, truly some of the best sports months of the year, where you have the NFL obviously going. You have the MLB, the baseball coming down the stretch into the playoffs of October. And and then you'll have the NHL and NBA kicking off before you know it as well. So as sad as the end of summer always is, especially when you actually have a good summer like I do and leave your house, as sad as the end of summer post-Labor Day is, it's bittersweet as we welcome in a new NFL season, and especially week one. And going forward, basically now through January, folks, you have NFL almost as many nights as you don't. So while, yes, especially here in the Northeast, we start entering although it's beautiful out today, we start entering the cooler months into the winter. Sports wise, we are back almost something every night of the week, just the NFL alone, especially week one. We had Thursday night, we have Friday night tonight, which I'll get to because Roger Goodell loves money. We have a Saturday game, we have a Sunday game, and we have Monday, of course. So we're back. Sports are back. Sports are big. Sports are back. And we will get to, as we always do during the NFL season, I'll pick every game at the end of the show with the spread. And I will also, for week one, we'll go around each division and take a look at what's going on as I Stancil-Stradamus this season as we get started. Of course, I'm Jim Stancil, the Socrates of sport, the Aristotle of athletics, the Nostradamus of national pastimes, Jim Stancil-Stradamus. And as always, looming over me, the shadow of my deceased co-host, Ski Mask, as I enter my first season without my guiding light. So send super chats. I'm very poor. Actually, send money to my accountant on Venmo so I can bet with you, as I have $0 in my Venmo account, my DraftKings account. Of course, my accountant's Venmo is at DaveD23. If you want to send me money so I can bet on games and hopefully buy new tires and fix why my car is leaking oil and buy new control arms. And that's just the immediate stuff. I need a lot of money. Please, please, please. Please. Also, get the business out of the way up top, and we'll get into it. Already a video uploaded to Patreon this week. It was our sports supplement from last week that was only available on the Patreon. Once we're done here, I have the Chrissy Mayer Content Hotel gift bag, and I'm going to do a Patreon only. Once we wrap here, I'm going to do a Patreon only showing you what was in the gift bag, and I'll also go behind the measly $3 Patreon paywall, and I'll tell some tales out of school about my evening at the Content Hotel that will only be available on the Patreon right after this. I haven't got a chance to look at it, but I think I'm going to try going live on the Patreon after this for the first time. We're doing a little experiment. So either way, once we're done here, go over to the Patreon. I'm going to try to go live through the Patreon website itself, which I've never done, but at the very worst, it'll be uploaded to the Patreon later this afternoon. Already uploaded something this week for a one-man network at this point, essentially. You're not going to, the Patreon for $3 measly a month, $36 a year, you too can support a 5'5.5" man child. And you actually get constant content that's constantly being released. As always on Sports Mask and pretty much all our shows, if you want something definitely read, super chat it. I will do my best to go to the poor people chat at some point, but it's not guaranteed. So if you have anything you definitely want to chime in about, super chat it. So let's get, before we get to the football, which we have plenty of, let's quickly go through a couple other notes. Most notably, let's be honest, the Mets. And the Mets have a huge series this weekend as we play the Reds, who are chasing us for that third wild card, which how pathetic is it? The way the Mets were seeded 6.5 games up in first place going into the All-Star break. Now we are fighting to get the last playoff spot. Brutal. Let's take a look at the NL standings, by the way. Yes, the Mets are a full 6 games back of the Phillies. Now, we do play the Phillies. We do have 4 more games with the Phillies. So, if the Mets can hang around, God forbid, gain a few games on the Phillies before that series, and let's see when that series is, actually. Shouldn't be too hard. Oh, it's coming up right after this series. So, back-to-back, huge season-defining series coming up for the Mets, who have the Reds tonight through Sunday, and then the Phillies Monday through Thursday. So this time next week, we will essentially know the fate of the New York Metropolitans for all intents and purposes after the 3-game series with the wild card trailing Reds, and then a 4-game series with the Phillies. So a big week-long stretch coming up, starting tonight in Cincinnati and then going to Philadelphia. Let's take a look at the wild card, if we can, please. And a wild card, please. I just want to see how many games up the Mets are indeed above the Reds. The Giants have overtaken the Reds. So the Mets are 4 games up on the San Francisco Giants for the last wild card spot. They are 5 up on the Reds, and creeping there, hanging in the wings still. The Diamondbacks are 5.5 back, and the Cardinals are 5.5 back from the last wild card. So, listen, the Mets should be, again, barring another collapse. I mean, it's going to take another week of losing almost every game. Barring any, the Mets should be in good shape. If they take 2 out of 3 from Cincinnati this weekend, that'll essentially put Cincinnati to bed. Do we play the Giants at all before the season is over? Play the Padres. It's not easy. It doesn't look like it. No, so we do not play the Giants again. So yeah, there's your setup for the Mets for the upcoming week and weekend. And I just want to touch on something. And I have not been the kindest to Juan Soto, while I also have not jumped on the hating Soto bandwagon, as was hot to trot earlier in the year. But listen to this. Juan Soto is on pace to become the first player to have 40-plus home runs, 100-plus RBIs, 30-plus stolen bases, 100-plus runs, and 100-plus walks. You know, pretty unbelievable, especially in a fairly cold start. And the fact that anybody's complaining about his offensive output at this point, that you can put that to bed. And sayonara to any Yankees fans who think we got the raw end of this deal. Now, can he field? I don't think so. I mean, I think he'll be DHing within the next couple of years, or he should be, or at least splitting time. I don't like how he fields. He's way too nonchalant, Juan Soto is, in right field. Too many just careless, lazy mistakes. But good God, can the man hit? So let's see. At this point, you know, unfortunately, it looks like we're going to end up in the same spot we were last year with a 1-game play-in, which is terrible. But at the same time, we should be in the dance, barring anything crazy happening, giving up the wild card lead, and win that 1-game playoff, and we're off. So there you go with the Mets and the baseball. That's it for this week. Well, obviously, we'll get into more baseball as we go. I haven't addressed it officially on this show. I've talked about it. I talked about the Content Hotel last night. I think I talked about it on SMC or one of the Patreons, but let me officially address, yes, my father was a male cheerleader in high school, folks. Okay. Big deal. This was back in the 60s when male cheerleaders, and I'm not even making this up, male cheerleaders were actually like pretty cool. They didn't wear dresses. They were men. A lot different than nowadays. We're all Twinkies wearing dresses and long straight hair. Male cheerleaders in the 60s were looked highly upon. And were real men. And they're real rebel rousers. My father told me during halftime of a game, they lit off cherry bombs as a gag. And there was so much smoke, they had to postpone the second half. So, yes, the rumors are true. My dead father was a cheerleader. And I'm damn proud to be the son of a male cheerleader. Stancil Stradamus. Rack me straight to hell and back. Oh yeah. I have as always my 2 fantasy leagues. One, we're entering our 26th year. Now every Tom, Dick, and Harry and their mother does fantasy like they know anything. Literally in our 26th year, not exaggerating, of the Same group of guys, save for one or two musical chairs on the ends, but the core group of the same guys since high school, going on 26 years. Another year of fantasy, and of course our other league, same guys. I think this is going on 10 or 15 years for my other league. So, and unbelievable team names. You know what? For the hell of it, I'll read you my starting lineups in both leagues. The 26-year league, which is a $200 buy-in because we're grown adults. My wonderful team name, unbelievable team name, Penix in your butt cur. Get it? Like penis in your butt. Unbelievable wit on my part. I got a bit fucked up during this draft, and it's not my best draft, but I do think there is a high upside. Here's my drafted team for going into week 1 for Penix in your butt cur. Michael Penix Jr. at quarterback, as you might imagine. Smith and Jigba. It's his name. Don't cancel me. Zay Flowers. Ashton Genty. That was my first round pick. I skipped over a couple backs. I wanted the rookie. I am betting on a rookie, a young boy with fresh legs who everybody's saying is going to be great. I'm hoping he doesn't have a rookie, a learning rookie year. I'm hoping he jumps right in, as many backs have done, and his athleticism overcomes any knowledge shortcomings. So I did put a lot of eggs in the Genty basket. We'll see what happens as the rookie running back for the Raiders. Irving, the running back for the Bucks. Dallas Goedert, who got me 8 points last night. Pretty damn good. Garrett Wilson, of course. Jaylen Warren, running back for the Steelers. And Washington defense. I have a theory for fantasy defense. I don't waste picks during the draft. I get my defenses week to week off the matchups, whoever's available in the free agents. There's a pro tip. I'm not going to go through the rest of my bench because who cares? And let's take a look at my other league. Much more solid, at least on paper, much more solid drafted team. And off to a hot start last night. Name of this team, Hurts My Bass. Get it? Another penis and butt thing. Jalen Hurts, a quarterback who had 24 and a quarter points last night, off to a great start. Alvin Kamara, Jonathan Taylor Thomas. I obviously made a big joke there as home improvement. DJ Moore, Puka Nakua, Hawkinson. I did get Travis Hunter, took a flyer on him. I was between him and some older players. Same thinking with Genty. Let's get some young talent in here. Hope he has a breakout year. We'll talk about the Jags when we go around the league. Also got Jaylen Warren in that league, which I don't love, but he was the best pick at the time. As you might have guessed, Tyler Bass at kicker, and Patriots D I picked up this week. So there you go. So those are the lineups going into week 1 of my fantasy teams. There we go. Somebody send some money. Did anybody Venmo me? I want to gamble. Send it to my person. Send it to my accountant at Dave D23 on Venmo. I'm just vamping, as they say, as I pull up the NFL standings. We'll go around. We'll go to each league. We'll see what's going on. Let's start with the AFC East, where my New York Jetropolitans play. Listen, I'm going to be honest. The Jets may finish dead last, and I'm okay with that. It is a reset year for the Jets, to say the least. Thank God. I mean, you heard me losing my voice all last year about the absolute clown Robert Saleh we had as a head coach for 3 years. Had no business being a head coach of an NFL team. Totally lost the locker room. Never had a game plan. Was more of a cheerleader than a head coach. And now we begin the Aaron Glenn era. Total opposite. I grew up watching Aaron Glenn, number 21, play cornerback for the Jets in the 90s there. Always liked him. All-class player. Hard-nosed player. He's going to be a take-no-shit coach. He's been a defensive coordinator. Where was he? Down in Tampa. I love this hire of who was available. Totally fine with it. And essentially, he's starting from square one. New quarterback who has fetal alcohol syndrome. As you know, he looks like a frog, of course. A lot of moving parts, a lot of drafted players. Listen, I'm still don't know about the O-line, but we'll get to all that later. That said, it is absolutely a reset and a fresh start for the Jets. I'm not expecting much. Listen, it's the NFL, and the reason why the NFL is probably the greatest sport to watch besides the tempo of the games and that kind of thing, the reason why college football absolutely sucks. And I will do my, as I have started doing last year, I will go over the college football scores from last week and prove my point every week until the college football season's over with all the blowouts are every week. You never know in the NFL. There's always outliers. There's always that team nobody really picked. So as Al Pacino said, and somebody made a whole movie about any given Sunday, they say, anything can happen in the NFL. So who knows? But on paper, I'm not expecting much. I'm thinking six. I think 6 wins at least. You can kind of fall into 6 wins in this league, especially with the decent defense that the Jets have. And I think 9 wins would be huge. I think 9 wins gets you a wild card these days, or gets you close. I'm expecting 7 to 8 wins. Much better coaching. We do have some talent with Breece Hall. If Breece Hall is healthy, he's a Pro Bowl player. Garrett Wilson has a talent, if he can fucking stop dropping huge passes in big spots, to be a Pro Bowl player. I will say, as you know, I've said I wanted to sign Aaron Rodgers, because say what you want about Rodgers, he's still a Hall of Fame quarterback. He played under absolute atrocity of a coaching staff last year. And let's remember, he also had, and I'm not exaggerating, I've talked about this before, there were 4 games. If guys catch passes with under 2 minutes, the Jets probably win those games. So the Jets could have had 9 wins just last year, doing essentially what they did if guys could just catch passes in crunch time. That said, I do like Justin Fields as a mobile quarterback. We don't have a great offensive line and the Jets. So that could help us. His legs could win us a couple games just by getting out of the pocket, God forbid, running for a first down. I would love to see a young boy connection between him and Garrett Wilson, if they can develop some chemistry. As we've said, and you know this, folks, you Stancelites and Sportsmass viewers, we put 0 credence into the preseason because it's such a joke. Really, as you fine folks know, if you watch a show, the preseason now is basically weeks 1 through 3. By week 3 or 4, that's when you really see what teams are, since there's like no contact. None of the starters barely play now in preseason. And that's why I don't like that they put these divisional matchups off the bat, because I understand it goes both ways. So in the end, it is fair. But for these teams to play each other week 1 in these divisional games that carry weight, I don't love it, because it's essentially preseason week 1. All right. Anyway, that was my Jets take. As far as the division as a whole, yeah, I think it's the Bills to lose. A lot of people are high on the Patriots. The Dolphins still have some talent, although they are on the back end. I think if the Dolphins don't have a decent to good year this year, I think Soder's friend is gone there as head coach. He's a weird guy. I like him. Sometimes he gets a little bit too much. But I think the AFC East is pretty straightforward. I think it'll be Bills, Dolphins, Pats, Jets. Let's go to the AFC West, which has been the Chiefs' kingdom. Now, speaking of kingdom, the Chiefs are on the back end of their empire. Kelsey's getting married. Is he going to fall off? Kelsey needs a bounce back year. Listen, for a tight end, he still put up fine numbers to good numbers. For Kelsey, it wasn't the best year. If the Chiefs somehow get off to a slow start or slow first half of the season, there's going to be a lot of grumblings about this being the end of their era. There's your Stancil Stradamus, something to keep an eye out for as the season goes. Because a lot of people, these guys aren't getting any younger. They've won some chips. That's what we call championships as athletes. We call it chips. So it'll be interesting to see. I think they still have the talent. I think Mahomes still has it. I think Hollywood Brown is healthy. I never liked their run game, but their run game is a hybrid passing game. Let's be honest. It's screens, it's misdirection with Pacheco. So I do think the Chiefs win that division. I think the Broncos, obviously the Chiefs and Chargers play tonight from Brazil because Roger Goodell has to sell jerseys. I mean, week 1, you have a divisional game in another country. How silly. What a silly, silly thing to do in South America. And make no mistake, this is not about selling at the stadium. They can sell at any stadium in the country. They would sell out, especially Chiefs Chargers. Forget it. This is about gaining a handful of more fans so they can sell more merch on the website. Period. Stop. Don't listen to anyone telling you anything different about growing the sport, blah, blah, blah. You think Brazil is going to have an American football team? Absolutely not. This is about hopefully gaining some kind of, even if it's just a few thousand fans that will buy merch off of the NFL.com website. Again, period, stop. That is all this game in Brazil is about, and don't let anyone tell you anything different. I don't think the Raiders are going anywhere. I think the Chargers have some upside. Herbert needs a bounce back year in a big way. Harbaugh's second full season. So I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk for the Chiefs as it's been in years past. I think the Broncos with Bo Nix also showed they can win some games. I think so. I think the Chiefs have to get off to a hot start or else they're going to have to watch their ass. In the AFC West. In the AFC North, should be an interesting division. We always love the hard-nosed AFC North. Start from the bottom up. I think the Browns are not it. I think the Browns, they have Joe Flacco starting this week. Yes, that Joe Flacco, a guy who just wants to be sitting on the bench helping the young guys. He's a class act all the way. Don't get me wrong. But what is he, 72 now, Joe Flacco? He was washed up when he was with the Jets a few years ago, and here we are, 5 years later. So the Browns are going to anchor that division. Really nothing there. I don't see much upside for the Browns. Again, they'll win some games just by default, but certainly not going anywhere. But I think it will be very interesting with the other 3 teams. Obviously, we know the Ravens, Lamar, Derrick Henry, etc. Lots of talent. Zay Flowers, the great defense. We know who the Ravens are. Ravens will be what they are. Joe Burrow heard the noise after last year. Everybody's saying, does he have it? Does he not? I think Joe Burrow comes back in a big way this year. I think the Bengals are going to give the Ravens some trouble. And look out in Pittsburgh, folks. I told you I wanted Rodgers to stay on the Jets. Now Rodgers is on a team with weapons, with a real head coach, maybe one of the best definitely one of the best head coaches, if not the best head coach in football. Certainly, I would say the best coach that can handle players in the NFL, and Mike Tomlin. And he's got DK Metcalf now. Jaylen Warren is a solid back. They have a solid O-line. They have a solid defense. Watch out for Pittsburgh. So I think the AFC North, as it always ends up being, it will be an interesting and hard-nosed division. One of my favorite divisions in the NFL, probably my favorite division. And in the AFC South, not very sexy, I'll be honest. Texans, Colts, Jags, and Titans. I think the Texans, I think it's the Texans division to lose with CJ Stroud and the team they have there. CJ Stroud has obviously proven time and time again the last couple of years that he is a top tier NFL quarterback. The Colts are looking for a bounce back year. They have a young team as well. Jags as well. Trevor Lawrence desperately needing, similar to Joe Burrow, desperately needing a big bounce back year. He's got the rookie Travis Hunter, who's very skilled at his disposal. Etienne and whatever the other running back is, who's Tank Bigsby, who's a good running back. So they have Christian Kirk, of course. Is he still there? Is he on the Texans? I don't fucking care. No, Nico Collins. I don't fucking care, really. I think the Titans, not much going on in Tennessee. So that is your AFC South. Could get interesting with those young teams, the younger quarterbacks with the Texans, Colts, and Jags there. Let me take a sip of coffee. Somebody send a super chat or send me some Godman Venmo in the meantime. It's on the bottom of the screen. A good black coffee like a man. All right, let's go to the NFC. Let's start with the NFC East with the Eagles with the W last night, getting the season started. Yeah, similar to the Jets, I think the Giants will anchor that division to no fault of their own. I'm not knocking them as a Jets fan, but just not much going on there. Period. Stop. There's really just not much going on for the New York Giants. They got some young players they're going to build with. I will say this. I do, and I was just talking about this with some buddies the other day. I don't mind Jameis Winston at quarterback in his later years. He's a wacky dude. You know, in his younger years that hurt him. I think he's matured a bit where he can have his wackiness, but with his years in the league and his experience, I think players look at him as a leader. I think he's quirky enough to be a fun guy, a good guy for the clubhouse to keep it light. He's shown he has some talent. So I think that's an interesting play for the Giants and a smart play to have Jameis Winston anchoring that offense. But other than that, just not much talent there. You saw the Cowboys last night give the Eagles a run for their money, but you also saw, I mean, they emptied the tank. It's preseason week 1 where everybody's playing messy. I think this is going to be the Eagles and the Commanders, and don't be surprised if the Commanders take control of this division this year. You saw what they did last year, the playoff run. Jaden Daniels, another top 5 NFL quarterback, proving himself, young quarterback with the legs and the arm, and proving he can win in big spots, which is huge. So I think the NFC East will be the Eagles and Commanders going at it all year. I think that's going to be a tight division all year between those two teams. I don't think Dallas may hang around. They'll win some games, but I don't even know if they'll get to the wild card. NFC West, a fairly boring division. Brock Purdy. Can Brock Purdy turn it around? Can Kyler Murray and the Cardinals? Is Kyler Murray? Do they have some more explosiveness in that offense? The Seahawks with Geno Smith without DK Metcalf. I don't love them this year. I think this is the Rams division. Lots of talent. Stafford getting old, would love another ring. A great head coach in what's his name? Mick something, the white guy, young white guy, who cares? Sports. We don't do gay stuff like look stuff up. Yeah, so I think the Rams, if, and again, big if with the NFL, as it is a lot of parity we talked about on the top. If they can hold it together, I think if all things hold, I think that's the Rams division to lose again. And, although it'd be interesting to see if the 49ers can have a resurgence one more time with that roster. NFC North, the Bears, the Lions, the Packers, the Vikings. That's going to be a tight division. I don't see, although, the Bears showed some signs of life last year. Caleb Williams and DJ Moore back at it this year. So I'm not writing off the Bears, the Kelly P's Bears, but I think the Lions, Packers, and Vikings, I think that is going to be a dogfight all year between those three, and sprinkle in some Bears if they can figure some stuff out there with their young quarterback. I think the NFC North is very interesting. If you're going to make me pick, I think the Lions have a lot of talent there. So if you're going to force me to pick, I'm going to take the Lions taking that division. And last and least, the least skilled division in the NFL, the NFC South, where we have the Falcons, the Panthers, the Saints, and the Buccaneers. I think the Panthers continue to do what they did last year. I told you before they drafted Bryce Young. This is why I don't love these USC, these big college quarterbacks when they're surrounded by NFL players. I told you before they drafted him, Bryce Young would not be a good NFL quarterback. So far, Stanton Stradamus, the shit out of that because he stunk. I think the Panthers anchor that division. The Saints, the Falcons, and the Bucks. Falcons, Penix Jr., one of my fantasy quarterback. And some young talent there. Don't be surprised. Penix was figuring out last year. Don't be surprised if the Falcons are a big player in that division. We know Tampa Bay. We saw it on the run they did last year. Baker Mayfield, with a resurgence, similar to Jameis Winston, maturing in his later years. He did a great job there. Godwin's back. And of course, the Saints, Alvin Kamara, a wonderful output player. I don't think they have enough talent anymore as they did in years past. I think that's going to be the Falcons and the Bucks. And for the hell of it, I'm going to take the Bucks in the NFC. The Falcons, the NFC South. I think Penix has a breakout year. That's why I chose him as my quarterback. He's got an absolute cannon for an arm, and he's smart in the pocket. I think Penix Jr. Takes a big step forward, similar to what Jaden Daniels did last year. Give me the Falcons in the NFC South. Now, before we go around the league and make the picks for week one, let's take a look at how bad college football was last week. And I don't look at these in advance. I just know it sucks every week. Let's take a look at the blowouts that happened last week in college football. College football scores. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it. All right, here we go. And again, I don't look at this in advance. I just know college football fucking sucks besides like two or three games a week. Illinois, 52. Western Illinois, 3. That'll never happen for the entire NFL season. Write this down. Santos Stradamus, bet on it if you can. There will not be a single game where the winning team wins by 49 points in the NFL all year. Week 1 in the NCAA. College football sucks. I'll say it again. Illinois, 52. Western Illinois, 3. College football sucks. Tennessee, 45. Syracuse, 26. Georgia, 45. Marshall, 7. College football sucks. Iowa State, another one. Iowa State, 55. South Dakota, 7. College football sucks. Penn State, 46. Nevada, 11. College football sucks. Oregon, 59. Montana State, 13. College football sucks. Oklahoma, 35. Illinois State, 3. College football sucks. Oh, my God. Which I told you about this on the last Sports Mask. Maybe I did on the supplement that's only on the Patreon from last week. I told you this is an embarrassing game, and literally I called it Florida 55, Long Island University, nothing. Florida, one team scored 55 points. The other team scored 0 points. College football fucking sucks. Literally called it. Prove me right, somebody. Watch the Patreon sports supplement I posted last week. And I believe I called it that they would win by 50 points and Long Island University wouldn't score. Oh, boy. If you thought that was bad, how about this one? Texas Tech 67. AR Pine Bluff 7. They won by 60 points. College football sucks. You may not have a 60-point differential, all the NFL games combined this week. That's how bad college football is. How silly is college football and boring. Ole Miss 63, Georgia State 7. Guys, this is week 1. This is just week 1. This isn't all season the worst game. This is week 1 of college football. Don't ever tell me I'm wrong about college football. I'll say it again. Ole Miss 63, Georgia State 7, SMU 42, East Texas A&M 13, Utah 43, UCLA 10. Oh man, and those are just the big blowouts. Mostly, and there's 34-17s. I didn't even read, 42-24s. I didn't even read stuff like that. Boy, does college football fucking suck. All right, let's get back to a real sport called the NFL. The top as listen. And before I get into that, I just checked my notes. I have to touch on this. I touched on the money grab that is the game tonight in Brazil that is just to sell merch on the website, and don't let anyone ever tell you different. It's not about growing the game. It's not about any kind of inclusion bullshit they're going to try to shove down your throat tonight. This is about selling jerseys on the NFL.com website to Brazilians, period, stop. Selling a couple hundred more jerseys over the course of the year to hopefully get a couple fans out of this game. The catastrophic news, and truly, and I know everybody's commented on this on the sports programs this week, but truly, honestly, the end of an era where we found out this week that NFL Red Zone will have commercials, and not overlay commercials as they've done for years. They will have break to full commercials. Very sad, and honestly sad. I remember way back when my dead cheerleading dad was alive, we got the NFL package for many years, and that was when Red Zone started, and that was a big part of our Sundays. We would have the Jets on, and during commercial, you flip it over to that Red Zone, and that went all the way up until last year. Any of you folks, I'm sure I'm not the only one with that formula, right? You have your main game you watch on whatever local channel, and then during commercials or halftime, you flip over to Red Zone, or if that game goes to shit, you just watch Red Zone. Truly end of an era with the commercials, and the, capitalism continues, and the never-ending greed of the NFL continues, sucking every single dollar out of every single thing they can. So happy trails. Rest in peace. Your children will never know a commercial-less NFL Sunday again. NFL Red Zone was the last bastion of that. We had a wonderful watch, especially, if you're a Jets fan or like many of you, whatever your team is, that has sucked in recent years. My Sundays have mostly revolved around Red Zone. So, same host, Scott Hansen, God bless and all, but truly changing the landscape, a totally different show now with Red Zone having commercials. They can try to spin it however they want, but that was kind of the beauty. It was nonstop, front to back, no commercials from 1 o'clock till 8 o'clock. So rest in peace, commercial-less NFL Red Zone, and God bless. All right, we're going. It's almost that time, folks. We are going to go and pick every game with the spread. Last call for alcohol. If you want to chat Red, super chat it. I desperately need money, and I deserve it much more than all of these other people you give your money to. So feel free to give other people money, but you better, if you're not a super chatter, disregard this. But if you super chat other shows and don't super chat this show, just know you are a piece of shit and you don't know what talent is. So if you want me to look highly upon you, and if you want to show you have class, super chat this show, or even better yet, frankly, send money to my accountant directly and cut out the middleman. Venmo at DaveD23, PayPal DDOMB5185 @gmail.com. Of course, my accountant's information. If you want to cut out the you-know-who YouTube middleman and their 30% cut they take out of everything. And one last reminder, as soon as I'm done here, we're going to boot it right back up. We're going to try to go live on the Patreon. So if you're a Patreon member, get there after this. I have the Chrissy Mayer's Content Hotel gift bag right over here. A bag full of stuff. I'm going to go show you what we got. I'll tell some tales out of school I can't say on the air about the things I saw and heard last night. That'll be Patreon only right when this ends. If I'm not live in a few minutes, give me 5-10 minutes on Patreon. Just know I'm recording it and I will upload it within the hour, in the next couple hours. So you'll have something to look forward to this evening, as long with the football game, and just support a real motherfucker. Anyway, just join the Patreon for $3 Look at it. If nothing else, if you don't super chat, look at it as a once a month super chat, as I always say. Even if you don't join for the Patreon content, join it just to support a sad boy whose co-host is dead and needs money. And you actually get a bunch of content on top of it, on top of the shows you get for free. All right, that's the business, folks. You've waited. What is it? When was the Super Bowl? Mid-February? You've waited almost 7 long months for this moment, folks, and for this music. And here we go. Is it playing? I hope it's playing. Well, folks, here we are, 2025 NFL season, all the picks, all the dicks. We're back for the 4th or 5th season even. I don't fucking know. I don't know when this show started. I think it started in 2020. Here we go. Let me load up my DraftKings that has no money in it since nobody gave me money. I would love to bet with you, but the last I checked, nobody sent me money, but I am going to use it. I am going to use it for the spreads. We are using the current, present to the minute DraftKings spreads for these picks, folks. Here we fucking go. You've been waiting for it. The only man you need to know here is picks in all of sports. The All-American, the only All-American comedy podcast host, Jim Stancil-Stradamus. Here we go. Here we go. We talked about it tonight. Chiefs and Chargers from shithole Brazil. Chiefs -3, technically on the road, but obviously neutral site. Let's not waste time here. Chiefs, as we said, these weeks are like preseason since they don't play in the preseason anymore. Chiefs, a cohesive unit. The core has been together for years. First game of the year, they have a major advantage. Give me the Chiefs -3 tonight. Let's move on. Giants +5.5 at the Washington Commanders. I guess whoever's in Vegas likes the Giants or is a Giants fan, because that is a generous line for the Commanders. I think Commanders not only win by a touchdown, I think they win by probably 3 touchdowns. So this, I haven't even looked at the spreads. but this may just be the lock of the week. Give me the Commanders minus 5.5 at home. That's an easy one, folks. If you want an easy bet, there's one there. Very similar story here, folks. Bengals at Browns. Bengals, I think, and Joe Burrow fire under his beautiful, hot little ass. I think Burrow's coming back in a big way this year. Give me the Bengals minus not even a touchdown at 5.5 on the road in a Cleveland team who I think are going to be down at the bottom of the league with the Panthers this year when it's all said and done. They knew what they were doing here, folks. The Steelers at the Jets. Jets are only getting 3 at home, another number that I think is generous for the Steelers. I mean, this is almost too easy. Give me the Steelers. I know it's Aaron Rodgers' first game. I know he's back in New York. He's going to get booed. I don't think, a guy of his caliber and who's been through what he's been through, I don't think you have to worry about the jitters for a guy like Aaron Rodgers coming back to New York. But I understand it's the first game playing live with these guys. That said, Aaron Rodgers is a competitor. He's going to play his ass off as if he wouldn't anyway to win this game and shove it down the Jets' organization's throat. Give me the Steelers minus 3. Cardinals Saints, divisional game here. Not a very sexy one, but the Saints are getting 6.5 at home. This is the first game of the week. I'm going to take the dog here. Give me the Saints at home to cover. I think the Cardinals win by a touchdown or so. Cardinals win. Saints cover with the plus 6.5. Raiders at the Patriots. Patriots minus 2.5 at home. I think the Patriots are going to be a little bit better than people are giving them credit for. Stevenson is very good at running back. The young quarterback, I have friends who are very high on with Drake May. I would love to see, selfishly, as Genty's fantasy owner, Genty to have an outbreak here, and he may. So this is a tough game to pick. I'm taking the Patriots at home minus the 2.5. It's almost a pick 'em when it's less than a field goal. So give me the home team there. Wouldn't be overly surprised if the Raiders cover or win outright. Here's a sexy game, very sexy game that could have implications down the road, which is why I hate these games in week 1, these divisional games when these guys are all rusty. But the Bucks at the Falcons. It's a pick-em. It's almost a direct pick-em. Falcons getting 1.5 at home. Yeah, and I'm going to take the Falcons at home. I told you Penix had a nice year last year. Not a great year. I'm looking for Penix, again, selfishly, as his fantasy owner, but I picked him for this reason. I think he has a breakout year for the Falcons. They have a young team there. Give me the Falcons at home getting a 1 and a hook, and let's move it along. Dolphins getting 1.5. Colts minus 1.5 at home. Dolphins, Colts, in Indianapolis. I like the Colts here. Borderline love the Colts here at home. I think the Dolphins are swooning. I think they're a little bit lost. I think Tua's head is going to fall off like the bird from Dumb and Dumber. Give me the Colts at home with their young boys that they have there. Panthers getting 3.5 at Jacksonville. There's no mystery here. The only mystery is why they're not getting more points, and I suppose it's because the first week of the season. Give me the Jags minus 3.5 at home over the lowly Panthers. Only shot the Panthers have here is if old mother Chuba Hubbard can run for about 200 yards and run all over the Jags. That is something that can happen. Other than that, I think the Jags, another team looking for a bounce-back year with a swoon last year. Let's move it on. Going into the 4 o'clock hour on Sunday, we have the Tennessee Titans going to Denver. Denver minus a hefty 8.5 at home, our first game that's favored over a touchdown of this week. I don't love that. Minus 8.5, but at the same time, I do like Denver and their team, and playing at altitude week 1. I'll take Denver minus 8.5 at home going for week 1. Another divisional game here, 4:05. You got the Niners at the Seahawks. Can the Seahawks without DK Metcalf continue the success they have had? Can the 49ers and Brock Purdy and George Kittle bounce back? Ayuk is out, suspended. They're begging you to take the Seahawks plus the 1.5 at home. I'm not falling for it. I think the 49ers, pound for pound, are the better team, and Joey Bosa. Give me the 49ers on the road, minus 1.5. Week 1. Lions at Packers. Fun game here. Micah Parsons is a piece of shit. We got the Lions traveling to Green Bay. Green Bay minus 2.5 at home. Again, all things considered, week 1, always a messy game plan. I like the Lions and all their weapons overcoming the messiness against Green Bay. Give me the Lions, and especially getting 2.5 points. Give me the Lions plus 2.5. Texans still in the 425 slot. Texans at the Rams. CJ Stroud, the aging Matt Stafford. Rams minus 3 at home. No hook. Just a straight minus 3. Similar to whatever game that was. The Raiders Patriots. I wouldn't be surprised if this game goes anyway outright. I'm going to take the Rams at home cooking, week 1, have the talent, a lot of the same players back. Give me those Rams minus 3 against the Texans. Your Sunday night game, and far and away your game of the week. We love this matchup. For the last 5 or so years, this has been a sexy matchup. Every time they met in the regular season and the playoffs, they have yet to disappoint. The Ravens at the Bills, where they will, and you know where I'm going, folks. They will go into Buffalo, where they have the lowest class fan base in not only NFL, but low-key all of sports. Absolute pieces of shit humans, even more than Philly. At least Philly, they have all different sports. All the Buffalo has are the Bills. I don't want to hear about the Sabres. All Buffalo has are the Buffalo Bills. And what do? They just throw each other through tables. That's their pregame. They cover themselves in ketchup and mustard. You'll remember last year they kicked a girl with a physical disability down the upper deck. Truly, there's nothing to do in Buffalo except drink and eat wings and blow big farts. So they just are going to fart while they're getting thrown through a table, being covered in ketchup and mustard. But that's just a piece of shit fans. As for the game itself, as I've said, and as you fine folks know if you watch this fine league, the Ravens-Bills has, in the modern era, in the last 5 years or so, since these two quarterbacks have been in the league, has never disappointed. Almost all their games have come down to the wire. I don't think this one will be any different. The line reflects that, with the Bills getting 1.5 at home. I'm taking the Ravens here. It's basically a pick 'em. Obviously, wouldn't be surprised if it goes either way. I'm taking the Ravens solely based on the Bills fans being pieces of shit. And then an entertaining game. Should be interesting. Monday night, you get the Vikings at the Bears. Dub Bears. Bears, same thing. Basically a pick 'em. Bears getting 1.5 at home. I like the Vikings here. I think Hawkinson has a big game. I think it's especially in week 1, a lot of underneath Kirk Cousins throwing it, or is it Sam Darnold? Whatever. Sam Darnold, whoever. Yeah, Sam Darnold, right? In Minnesota now. Throwing it underneath to Hawkinson. Look for Hawkinson to have a big game. Probably 40-plus yards in the first half. There's a Stanislas Stradamus. There's a prop if you want it. Yeah, give me the Vikings. But this will be, week 1. It's always, you can't put too much weight in it. Because, again, for the same reason I've said a million times. But that said, will be interesting to see where these two teams are at going into this year. There are your picks for week 1, folks. I know you waited 7 long months for what we just did, and I don't think I disappointed whatsoever. One last check. Nobody has super chatted. You're all pieces of wallowing shit. And since nobody super chatted, I'm not even going to read any of the poor people chats. There's a lesson learned for future weeks. I'm going to make you pay. Listen, I am a man of the people, and I am a generous and glorious God, but sometimes you need discipline. So hopefully you're not super chatting because you're joining the Patreon for the Chris Mayer Content Hotel gift bag stuff. And I literally just uploaded another Patreon exclusive 2 days ago. Tons of Patreon shit for $3 measly fucking dollars. So no, you will not get your poor people chat read in week 1. As I say, you got to pay to play. If you're going to pay all these other losers sitting in their living rooms, I goddamn well want my piece. And if you're not going to do it, no biggie, but you're going to pay for it by not getting your poor people chats read. Anywho, I still love you. It's okay. And you know what to do, folks. Sunday, starting at 1 o'clock, going all the way through the night, with your 8 p.m. game being the game of the week with the Bills and Ravens. I have a feeling Stancil may be at a little bar called Casey's Sunday night. We'll see what happens, folks. But you know what to do. You cannot be bothered from 1 p.m. on Sunday through about 11 p.m. Sunday night. Kick your wife in the stomach. Throw her down the basement steps. Install a lock on the outside of your basement door tonight or tomorrow. When your wife and children ask, "What's that for?" just say you're worried about robbers that could come in through the basement, and that's why. And then Sunday at around 12:50, 12:55. Say, "Oh, wife and kitties, I have a surprise for you. Go down to the basement. I got you something." And just as soon as your last child hits that second step, because the first step is just too close, as soon as the wife goes down and your kitties follow and they hit that second step of the basement step, you slam that door shut with great vengeance, and you slam that lock shut. You put towels and soundproofing on the outside of the door, and you don't let them up until that Sunday night game is over. You simply can't. You've waited all year for this, folks, all spring and summer, and here we are at week 1. So send your wife and kids to the basement. Make sure if your parents aren't dead, perhaps think about, K-wording them. At the very least, send them to a home tomorrow. Tell them you're bringing them on a vacation, and then drop them off at the door of a convalescence home and watch as Haitian women just beat their brains in when they don't do what they want them to do. So that's your plan for Sunday, folks. We're back. Week 1, sports mask in the book. Stay tuned to Patreon, as we're going to go right over there and see if I can try to go live. If not, it'll be uploaded shortly. NFL is back. All is right with the world. Enjoy this beautiful weather if you can. And as always, count all the troops and bring home the votes. We'll see you back next week for your regularly scheduled program. See you on the